Imagine needing to pull security footage from a specific date and time across a chain of international hotels. Or think about updating digital content on thousands of in-room entertainment systems. Sounds pretty complex, right? Well, today, we're diving into how one hotel and resorts organization tackled those exact challenges and more using a single solution.
That's right.
So we're looking at a case study here featuring StoneFly's super scale-out NAS appliance. We call it SSO NAS for short.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll uncover the storage data management and security hurdles that this hotel chain faced, and how StoneFly's tech helped them create a more efficient, future-proof, and secure system.
It's a great story.
Yeah, because if you are responsible for managing data and IT infrastructure in any enterprise, especially one with multiple locations or dealing with sensitive guest information, you'll want to pay close attention to this one.
Absolutely.
So this hotel and resort organization, they're a big name. Global reach, known for that luxury experience. But behind the scenes, their IT infrastructure was struggling to keep up.
Yeah, and what's interesting here is they were experiencing a convergence of typical enterprise data challenges.
Yeah.
The volume of guest data was growing rapidly. Think personal details, reservation records, loyalty program activity, and it was all scattered across different locations. So trying to pull meaningful insights from that, it was like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, it's spread out everywhere. And then on top of that, they have to manage all the multimedia content for their in-room entertainment systems, movies, music interactive services, across all their properties, keeping that updated and consistent. Ugh. That's a logistical nightmare.
It is a nightmare. And then you add on top of that the security footage from all these locations. Being able to quickly access and review footage is critical, both for security and investigations. But their existing system just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, and of course, we can't forget about the ever-present threat of ransomware attacks. I mean, for an organization of this size, a successful attack could be catastrophic, both in terms of financial loss and damage to their reputation. So they needed a solution that could tackle all of these challenges head-on, improve data management, streamline multimedia distribution, enhance security, and provide a strong defense against ransomware.
That's right. And that's where StoneFly's SSO NAS came in.
Okay, so let's break down how the SSO NAS addressed each of these pain points, starting with data management.
So first and foremost, the SSO NAS created a centralized data pool. So all that guest data, reservation details, loyalty program information, it was all brought together into a single, easily accessible location.
So no more data silos, no more hunting through multiple systems.
Exactly. And this consolidated approach had a huge impact. It didn't just make data management easier. It unlocked valuable insights. With all the data in one place, they can actually analyze guest behavior, preferences, spending habits, and then use that information to personalize the guest experience.
That's a really powerful way to drive customer satisfaction and loyalty.
It is. And the benefits extend beyond just guest data. They were also able to centralize their security footage, making it much easier to access and review video from any of their properties. Imagine this. If an incident occurred, security personnel could instantly pull up relevant footage from any location. This was a massive improvement for their security operations.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Now let's talk about multimedia content. How did the SSO NAS solve their content distribution challenges?
So the SSO NAS offered a really robust platform for managing and distributing multimedia content. It provided the storage capacity they needed for their extensive media library, along with really user-friendly tools for organizing and updating content.
So they could push out new movies, music, interactive services to all their properties seamlessly.
Precisely. They could ensure that guests across all their locations had access to the same high-quality entertainment experience.
And that consistency is key. Now, we've covered data management and multimedia distribution. But what about their concerns about future data growth? They needed a system that could scale with them.
Right. Absolutely. And that's one of the key strengths of the SSO NAS. It's designed for scalability. As their data needs grow, they can easily expand the system without having to rip and replace their existing infrastructure.
So it's future-proof. It can adapt to their evolving needs.
Exactly. They can scale their storage capacity on demand, ensuring they're always ahead of the curve. No more scrambling to upgrade their hardware every time their data volume spikes.
That must be a huge relief for their IT team, knowing they have a system that can grow with them. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, ransomware protection. How did the SSO NAS address that?
This is where some of the SSO NAS's advanced security features really shine. One of the key technologies they implemented is immutable snapshots.
Now, for our listeners who might not be familiar with that term, can you explain how immutable snapshots work and why they're so critical for ransomware protection.
Of course, in simple terms, an immutable snapshot is a read-only copy of your data, taken at a specific point in time. And the immutable part is crucial. It means that the snapshot can't be modified or deleted, not even by an administrator. It's like a frozen record of your data.
So it's like having a secure backup that's immune to any tampering.
Exactly. Now imagine a ransomware attack hits, and it encrypts your data with immutable snapshots. You can essentially rewind to a point in time before the attack occurred.
So you can restore your data to a clean, unencrypted state.
Precisely. This minimizes data loss, reduces downtime, and lets you get back on your feet much faster after an attack.
That must be a huge relief in an industry where every minute of downtime translates to lost revenue and potential damage to their reputation.
Absolutely. Immutable snapshots provide a vital safety net against ransomware and other data compromising threats. And it's just one of the many security features built into the SSO net.
We'll dive into some of those other features in more detail later. But for now, I think it's clear that this hotel and resort organization found a comprehensive solution in the StoneFly NAS.
They did, and their experience is a testament to the power and versatility of this technology. It's not just about storage. It's about building a resilient and secure data infrastructure that can adapt to the evolving challenges of the digital landscape.
So they got their data management streamlined, multimedia content under control, scalability for future growth, and that all-important ransomware protection. What kind of tangible results did they see after implementing the SSO NAS?
Well, that's what we'll cover in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. In the last part, we talked about how this global hotel chain was facing some major data management and security challenges. Now let's shift gears and explore the results they saw after implementing StoneFly's SSO NAS.
Yeah, the SSO NAS had a significant impact across the board, leading to some impressive improvements in efficiency, security, and guest satisfaction.
Okay, let's start with efficiency. How did the centralized data management approach impact their day-to-day operations?
So the SSO NAS allowed them to streamline numerous tasks. For example, pulling guest data for personalized offers or loyalty program updates used to be a really time-consuming process, involving multiple systems and manual data entry.
So before the SSO NAS, it was like trying to assemble a puzzle with pieces scattered across different rooms.
Exactly. With the SSO NAS, all that data was consolidated into a single repository, making it much easier to access and analyze. They actually saw about a 50% reduction in data retrieval time, allowing staff to respond to guest requests much faster.
Wow, that's a huge time saver. What about security? We talked about immutable snapshots for ransomware protection, but what other security features did they implement?
Well, they also took advantage of the SSO NAS's air-gapped and immutable file storage capabilities. It's like having a fortress for your most critical data, completely isolated from the main network and protected from any alteration.
Now, air-gapped storage. That sounds intriguing. Can you explain exactly how it works and why it's such a powerful security measure?
Sure. So with traditional network storage, your data is connected to the network, making it potentially vulnerable to cyber attacks. Air-gapped storage, on the other hand, physically separates your backups from your primary network.
So it's like having an offline backup.
Yeah.
But how do you access that data if it's completely disconnected?
Well, there are different implementation methods. One approach is to use removable media, like tape drives, which are physically stored offline. Another method is to create a dedicated network that's isolated from the main network.
This is often called a vault network.
So you have this separate secure network where your backups are stored, and it's only connected to the main network for scheduled backups, or in case of a disaster recovery scenario. Exactly. This physical separation makes it incredibly difficult for hackers to reach your backup data, even if they manage to breach your primary network. Because let's face it, even the best security measures can't guarantee 100% protection. But with an air-gap system, your backups are essentially untouchable.
Okay, that makes sense. They've got the air-gap storage for their backups. But what about immutable file storage? You mentioned that earlier. How does that add to their security posture?
So immutable file storage takes data protection to the file level. Once a file is written to an immutable storage volume, it can't be modified or deleted, not even by an administrator.
So even if someone with high-level access got their credentials compromised,
Right.
they couldn't tamper with those immutable files.
Precisely. This prevents malicious insiders, hackers who manage to gain access to the system. From encrypting or deleting those critical files, it adds an extra layer of protection against ransomware, accidental deletions, and even intentional data sabotage.
So it's like having each file locked in a time capsule, preserved in its original state.
That's a great analogy. It's a powerful way to ensure data integrity and protect against a wide range of threats.
Okay, so we've covered how the SSO NAS improved efficiency and security for this hotel chain.
Mm.
What about guest satisfaction? Did they see any measurable improvements in that area?
Absolutely. Their guest satisfaction scores saw a noticeable increase after implementing the SSO NAS. Much of this improvement can be attributed to the personalized experiences they were able to create by leveraging the centralized guest data.
So instead of just sending out generic marketing emails, they can target specific guests with tailored offers and recommendations based on their past behavior and preferences.
Exactly. Imagine a guest who regularly books spa treatments during their stay. The hotel could send them a personalized offer for a discounted spa package during their next visit. Or if a guest frequently orders room service from a specific restaurant, they could receive a targeted promotion for that restaurant.
Yeah, those personalized touches can make a big difference in how a guest perceives their stay. And it all comes back to that centralized data pool that the SSO NAS created. It gave them the insights they needed to tailor the guest experience in a way that wasn't possible before.
It did. And beyond personalization, the SSO NAS also contributed to a more seamless and enjoyable guest experience overall. Remember the challenges they faced with their multimedia content.
Oh yeah, the constant struggle to keep those in-room entertainment systems updated and consistent across all their properties.
Right. Well, the SSO NAS solved that problem. They could now ensure that all their properties had access to the same library of movies, music, and interactive services, and they could push out updates quickly and efficiently.
So guests could enjoy the same high-quality entertainment experience, no matter which property they stayed at.
Exactly. No more outdated movie selections or inconsistent content offerings. And because content updates were centralized, their IT team could focus on other tasks instead of constantly managing those individual systems.
It sounds like the SSO NAS really touched every aspect of their IT infrastructure, from streamlining operations and improving security to enhancing the guest experience.
It did. And what's even more impressive is that the SSO NAS delivered these results while also providing a foundation for future growth.
Right, we talked about the scalability of the system. They can easily expand their storage capacity as their data needs grow, without having to go through a major hardware overhaul.
Exactly. The SSO NAS gave them the flexibility and peace of mind they needed to keep pace with the ever-increasing demands of the hospitality industry.
So it wasn't just a quick fix, it was a strategic investment that set them up for long-term success.
Precisely, and that's a key takeaway here. When you're choosing a data storage and management solution, it's important to think beyond your immediate needs. You need a solution that can adapt to your evolving requirements and provide a solid foundation for future growth.
And it sounds like the StoneFly SSO NAS checks all those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Performance, scalability, security, and ease of management.
It does, and we're just scratching the surface of what the system can do. The key takeaway is that the SSO NAS is not just about storage. It's about building a foundation for a resilient, secure, and adaptable data infrastructure that can empower your organization to thrive in today's dynamic digital landscape.
Absolutely. So if you are ready to take your data management and security to the next level, we encourage you to reach out to the StoneFly experts. They can help you explore how the SSO NAS can address your specific challenges and unlock new possibilities for your organization. You can contact them at sales@stonefly.com, by phone at +1 510 265 1616, or visit www.stonefly.com. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and informative.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious.